Hello everyone and welcome back to Code Realize. I feel like it has been an eternity since I've played anything. I don't know why. Maybe that's because I've played like so many hours of Sims over the weekend that I just feel like it's just been forever. I guess it kind of has been forever since I don't think I've recorded anything since Friday, and it's Tuesday now, so we're gonna get another episode of Code Realize, and today we have 2 more chapters left in Sholmes' route, and then we're gonna go into Fitness's route. And then we have 1 more episode, I believe, of Gil, and we have Gil's endings. So we have 2 more episodes left of each of these routes that we're in, and then we move on to something different. Continue. Sholmes, we left off where Sholmes falling off of the ornithopter ladder. He saved Cardia from falling, and he passed her off to Watson before he fell, or jumped. I don't know which one he did, but... So we're gonna go find out what happened to him. Napoleon of crime. Drowning out my voice that calls for his name, only the flapping sound of the ornithopter echoes through the air. The cold wind that passes over me seems as though it wants to brush away the warmth of his hand. We're far above the ground in a distant sky. Even so, Watson and I continue to stare at the place where Sholmes disappeared from. Poor guy. Again? Sholmes mentioned before that he took away your happiness. Tell me, Watson, what happened between you and Sholmes?
そうか。そうだな。きっとジョーちゃんには聞く権利がある。ならジョーちゃんには教えてやるよ。名探偵ホームズの過ちってやつを。
Challenging cases that deceive the public eye. Heinous crimes that many fell victim to. Unsolved cases that would make even the yard veterans throw in the towel. Sticking his head in only those difficult cases, London's finest detectives solved those mysteries like magic. Sherlock Holmes. I'd written about some of his cases and published them to the public, but those make up only a small portion of case files. If you add up the major and minor cases he was involved in with solving, that number would well exceed 100, perhaps even 200. Well, I suppose it's precisely because he was involved in so many cases that it was only a matter of time before he noticed. I can't say when he first had the realization, but Holmes learned of the malice that lurked behind the crimes that occurred in London.
私の見立てでは、このロンドンで起きる凶悪な犯罪の半数以上、迷宮入り事件のほぼ全てが、とある男の手によるものだ。
おいおいホームズ、本気で言ってんのか？ロンドンで一日に起きる事件がどんだけあると思ってんだよ。
別に直接奴が手を下していると言っているわけではないよ。だが大きな事件の陰には必ず奴の手が加わった痕跡が見て取れる。だというのに、未だ奴の正体は闇の中。ここまで私に尻尾をつかませようとしない存在は初めてだよ。
Although he spoke of him as an unforgivable criminal, it's almost like he sounded like Sholmes was having fun with it in some way. He said that this entity may be the greatest enemy he's ever encountered since starting the detective business. From then on, Holmes chased after the shadow of the cases, beginning to analyze the mastermind's psychology. More than likely, the opponent began to notice Holmes' existence as well. Let's see. If I had to describe the process, it was a bit like playing a game of chess, making each move via letter. Unable to meet face to face, they begin to see each other's characters through every move they made. Cautious or bold, rational or emotional, but the two didn't even know what the other looked like, yet they knew each other's ways better than anyone else.
一つ一つの事件をいくら紐解いても決して奴にたどり着くことはできない。多くの事件で痕跡のかけらをかき集めてようやく奴の全貌が見えてくる。自慢するわけではないが、だからこそ私以外の誰も奴を捕らえることはできないだろう。
I have no doubt that he was the only one who could clearly make out the spider's web that the enemy has spread out. Just as he said, Holmes solved each case one by one as if to untie the tangled strings. Finally, he had the mastermind pinned under his thumb, a blade to his throat. But it was right around that time when that dreadful case took place. I told you about the period of time when I was living with Holmes, but around that time I married my wife. I left his legacy where I had been living and began my life together with my wife. But that didn't mean that my friendship with Holmes had ceased, of course. I left in an instant when I heard that he was involved in a major case. He was the first to congratulate us when we heard that Mary and I were to be wed. But our happy life together was not to be. Mary died. It was on that day when I returned from the United States on a business trip. I was informed about it from a yard I knew. Holmes was standing in the middle of the heavy rain. Staring at Mary, who lay on the ground, he cast his head down as if to endure pain.
何があった、ホームズ。おい、なんか言えよ。何があったんだよ。どうしてメアリーが死ななきゃならねえんだ。
すまない、ワトソン君。すべて私のせいだ。私がこの手でメアリーを殺した。
は？なんだよ。なんだよそれ。説明になってねえじゃねえか。なあホームズ、教えてくれよ。いつもみたいに俺が納得いくまで全部説明してくれよ。
In the end, the truth about the incident was never spoken of from his own mouth. Fatally injured, Mary couldn't properly exchange words with me and passed away without so much as a goodbye. Even I don't remember why he did it. All I knew was that he did. So I can't really voice any commentary or opinions on that. It was only at a later time that I learned of the details of the incident over a cold paperwork handed to me by the yard. According to it, the incident was an unexpected crime by a random assailant with a knife. Holmes tried to break in between them when Mary was attacked, but amidst the scuffle, Mary was stabbed with the knife by mistake. That was the truth that the yard saw. Holmes wasn't charged with any crime as it was an accident and the thug was captured, but it was clear as day that he was just a scapegoat. Even if Holmes said nothing of it, I knew. In fact, it was because he wouldn't talk about it that I was able to tell. The king of the criminals who Holmes was after. While Holmes searched for clues leading to him, Mary was caught up in an incident and killed. It had to have been a warning to Holmes. If you keep getting yourself involved in this, I can't guarantee your safety, or even safety of those close to you. I was thoroughly warned. The police inspector whom I was acquainted with cautioned me as such, but I was all too eager to prod the hornet's nest. If the target of my revenge would show on his own, my job couldn't get much easier. I was all prepared to drag him out by the tail alongside Holmes, but contrary to my resolve, Holmes stopped talking to me after that incident. From what I could gather, he too only had minimal contact with the yard. I assume he didn't want to get anyone involved again. He began chasing after the case alone, running all around London and weary. Alone, he cornered Moriarty. Alone, he challenged Moriarty to a final battle, and then didn't return. Yawning over the morning paper, I learned of my friend's death from the headlines. It wasn't even in London, but far across the ocean, Reichenbach in Switzerland. He was fighting a duel to the death and I didn't even know it. He died someplace far away and I didn't even know it. I couldn't even bring myself to cry. It felt so unrealistic that I couldn't believe a moment of it. I was convinced that he might just suddenly appear again when another major case came up. He kind of did. Since then, I developed a habit of going to crime scenes whenever I heard about a big case, and the rest you already know. I met you while chasing Jack's case, then I found out that he was alive. See, you can't blame me now for wanting to smack him good after all that time, huh? Anyway, that's why he and I share the same enemy. The man who pulls most of the strings of the heinous crimes in London. Criminal extraordinaire, the Napoleon of crimes. That is the name of Mary's enemy. Where are you, Sholmes?
ここは
Mossy stone walls and rough iron bars leap into my view as I open my eyes. The sound of water dripping to the floor reverberates in my ears. The smell of mold enters my nose. And then, I feel a burning pain in my arm and cold iron bindings my wrist. I forgot he was captured. Oh my goodness.
ニューゲート監獄いやバッキンガム宮殿の地下牢
The differences were evident. Compared to the hellish prisons of the surface, the palace dungeon, often used for political prisoners, was properly made. After deducing the situation from bits and pieces of information I could gather, I take a look at myself. My hand that had been burnt from the poison is wrapped in bandages and appears to have been treated at least somewhat.
わざわざ治療してある以上すぐに殺す気はないようだねさてどうしたものか
I really like Sholmes' long hair. Long and purple. Up to this point, it was just as I had predicted. No matter the course of events, I was able to get close to Moriarty's throat. Now all that remains is settling things with him once and for all. I will defeat him by any means necessary, even if I have to drag him down with me. As if to douse my determination, my burnt, inflamed arm throbs with pain. It's like she's digging her nails into me with her very remnants. If I was able to take Moriarty down with me, I could predict how Watson would react. He would get furious like an inferno. He would punch his fist down into my grave marker, cursing my name forever and having run off on my own. But what about her, Cardia? Would she get mad? Would she get sad? Or would she simply be in pain? Unable to infer an answer, I let out a sigh. Then, as if to cut off my thoughts, the sound of footsteps echoes through the narrow space.
お目覚めのようだね、シャーロック・ホームズ。
I gave you that idea, to cry out of pain.
ああおかげさまでゆっくり休ませてもらったよジェームズ・モリアーティこんな素敵な個室を用意していただけるとは痛み入る私には少々ベッドが硬すぎるがね
The fact that he could joke in a time like this.
それは失礼。どうにも 犯罪者の扱いには慣れていなくてね。
Finally, at my banter, Moriarty mutters with squinted eyes.
改めてこうして対峙すると、あの頃に戻ったようじゃないか。
You can call this a face-off. He's tied up.
君が死んだと聞いた時は絶望し、なぜ私も死ねなかったのかと散々に嘆いたものだが、今はその嘆きすらも懐かしい。意に沿わぬ事情で引き離された恋人に再会した気分だよ。
あいにくと好意を寄せられるなら女性がいいね。
Still teasing him. All trapped.
例えばカルディア君のようにかね。
Do you love Cardia, Sholmes?
さっきは実に見ものだったよ。君の命を削り毒で侵しながら、彼女は手を離そうとしなかった。人形の分際で自分が死にたくないあまり、みっともなく救いの糸にしがみついて、さらにはルパンたちも引き返すことなく、そのまま君を置いて去っていった。実に薄情な話だと思わないかね。
No, it's like if you don't know if he survived, why risk 1, 2, 3, 4 other lives to go and search for him? Lupin did the smart thing.
ああ、そうだね。
If that's what he wants to think, then so be it. I wouldn't expect this man to understand emotion anyway.
君の策に見事にはまり、私はこうして囚われの身というわけだ。まさか国そのものを乗っ取るなど考えもしなかった。私の乾杯だよ、モリアーティ。
思ってもいないことを言うのはやめてもらおうか。言葉とは裏腹に、君の目は死んでいない。
He's contemplating his escape as he talks about defeat.
それになぜ都合よくルパンたちはあの場に現れた。一体どれだけ君と戦ってきたと思っているのかね。君の考えなどお見通しだよ、ホームズ君。大方、今もあえて捕まることで私を倒す機会を伺っているのだろう。
さて、どうだろうね。君が疑心暗鬼になるのは構わないが、私がこうして身動きも取れず捕まっている事実を忘れないでほしいね。
Our eyes meet. Gazes that try to decipher the other's thoughts. Light and dark, our positions are completely opposite of one another. But somehow I feel oddly mixed, as if we are kindred spirits in some sense.
一つだけ解せないな、名探偵。
何がだい、犯罪者。
こんなスマートでない手を使わずとも私との決着をつけるなら、他にいくらでも機会はあっただろう。例えば宣告の一件も、タワーブリッジの時の開口も。君が捨て身であれば私を殺すことだけはできたはずだ。いや、正確には違うな。君は途中まで 私をあの場で殺すつもりだったのだろう。差し違えてでも。それを取りやめたのはなぜだね。
Moriarty makes a grimace, carrying out my silence. He looks displeased from the bottom of his heart, different for up to now.
どうにも君は私との決着以上に大事なものがあるようだ。私はそれが許せないのだよ。
His face distorted, Moriarty turns on his heels.
何を企んでいるモリアーティ。
何？パーティーは派手な方がいいだろうという話さ。このロンドンすべてを巻き込む派手なパーティーをしようじゃないか。
A silence hangs over the prison once more after Moriarty leaves. In the quiet that accentuates the solitude, I ruminate those words.
宿敵との決着か。
Ever since I had killed Mary with my own hands, that feeling has been like a vice on my heart. Even while tracking the case, even while enjoying a casual conversation, even when I sleep, wake, or do anything, there was never a time when I forgot. But even so, why did I let that golden opportunity go to waste? If the final battle is everything to me, then why should I care about what happens after? What need is there to even consider what happens after I'm dead?
ともかく動き出すとしよう。
I speak in a dramatic manner and take out the thing that I had hidden in my mouth. It's a very thin string, a custom-made string of steel of great strength that I had once used against Lupin.
あいにく囚われのヒロインという柄でもないのでね。
It was in his mouth? How do you talk normally with that in your mouth? This time, James Moriarty, let's finally put an end to this. He's just gonna unlock him. Wait, how are you gonna get that to your hand?
あれせぬルパン。
Oh my goodness.
てめえ、どうしてホームズを見捨てやがった。
Watson's piercing anger shakes the windows. We've escaped from that desperate situation. Traveling along a route where they wouldn't be able to track us, we returned to St. Germain's mansion. Occasion that has been absent from my life, a gathering of Lupin's crew, including Deli and Cece. There are so many things for me to say, to apologize for, but right now doesn't seem like the appropriate time for any of that.
あの時ならまだ間に合った。せめて俺だけでも助けに。少しは黙ったらどうだ、ジョン・ヘイミッシュ・ワトソン。だと。このルパンという男は一見いい加減に見えるが情には熱い。そんなルパンが逃げ帰ってきたならそれだけの理由があるということだろ
う。珍しいではないか。ヘルシングがルパンのフォローとは。
考えを見抜ける程度には長い付き合いになってきたからな。事情を説明してやれ、ルパン。そうでなくてはこいつも納得するまい。
Lupin sighs as Van Helsing urges him and quietly begins to speak.
あのヘボ探偵には口止めされてたんだがな。
Third rate.
あの場にショルメを残したのはあいつ自身の指示だ。
ああ、どういうことだ。
Directions? When did he give those? It didn't look like there was any time.
あの日、宛名も差出人もない手紙を子供が届けに来たんだよ。
How dare you involve children?
この手紙をサンジェルマン伯爵の屋敷に届ければ謝礼がもらえるって、地図と書き置き付きでね。
おそらく逃げる際、路上にでも手紙を残したのでしょう。 そこで謝礼目当ての誰かが手紙を運んでくれることまで計算して。
Okay, it wasn't just a child, it was anyone who found it.
で、その手紙に書かれてたのは、お前らが窮地に陥ったって知らせと、幾ばくかのメモ。あとは、いざとなれば自分は置いて、二人だけを救出してほしい。そんな一文だった。
あの野郎。また勝手なことを。
Watson slams his fist down on the desk and clenches his teeth. He then stomps his feet and puts his hand on the door. Watson, where are you going?
別に謝ったりしねえ。頭を冷やしてくるだけだ。それと助けてもらったってのに当たっちまって悪かった。
After Watson leaves the room, a quiet falls over it. An empty space as if a storm had passed. Amidst the atmosphere, Impy was the one to break the silence.
よかったよかったとはちょっと言いづらい空気だけど、とりあえずカルディアちゃんが無事だったことにはほっとしたよ。
そうだね。その点は純粋に喜んでいいと思う。あれから撃たれた傷はどう？痛みがあったら遠慮なく言ってね。
I'm fine, thanks to your treatment. If I'm being honest, the wound from the bullet grazing my hand still hurts. Under this glove that is held by the poison-resistant bandage, the wound is still emitting heat. But I can withstand the unlimited amount of physical pain. What I can't withstand is my heart's pain. The feeling of loss when Sholmes' hand became further away. I want to remember his warmth. A feeling as if I'll remember that sensation of his burning skin. I let my hand droop down and turn to face everyone. Everyone, allow me to apologize. You've all been so good to me, and I apologize for leaving without a word. And thanks for saving me yet again.
事情は伯爵から聞いてる。むしろ謝るのはこっちの方だ。
ああ、お前の苦しみに何も気づかないままで。俺も配慮が足りなかった。逃げ出すほどに追い詰められてたんなら、もっと話を聞いとくべきだった。
Aw, poor Lupin. No, I'm the one who left the banshee without telling anyone.
はいはい、そこまでです。今は謝り合っていても仕方ないでしょ。それより大事なのは我々がこれからどう動くかです。違いますか？
伯爵の言う通りだ。だが、その前にもう一度聞かせろ。本当なのか？あのアレスターが切り裂きジャック事件の黒幕で、他にも多くの犯罪に関わっていたとは。
Oh yeah, the one that's supposed to be Van Helsing's friend.
まあそりゃバンにとっちゃ信じたくねえだろうけど、事実だよ。カルディアちゃんを撃ったのは黄昏のジミー・ A ・アレスターだ。
別人の見間違いではないのか？お前は列車強盗の際に車外から見て顔を知る程度だろう。
Why don't you just ask Cardia, who was there with him at Tower Bridge, like, announcing his involvement?
私はアレスターをよく知っている。あいつはそんな男ではない。
はあ？ふざけんな！こっちは確かに見たんだよ。あいつはこの子を傷つけた。俺は絶対に許さねえ。
ああ、もう僕たちが仲間割れしてる場合じゃないよ。
少し状況を整理しましょうか。ショルメさんがずっと追っていた犯罪者ジェームズ・モリアーティ。 またの名をジミー・ A ・アレスター。彼はビクトリア女王を暗殺することでこの大英帝国の実権を手中に収めました。
そして民衆を扇動してあのエルロック・ショルメを捕らえたというわけだな。
ええ、フィーニス死亡の件を考えるに黄昏の内部についても掌握していると見て間違いはないでしょう。ではそれを踏まえた上でカルディアさん、これからあなたはどうするおつもりですか？
What do I plan to do? Go and rescue Sholmes, of course.
なぜ？
I'm at a loss for words at Saint Germain's question. Why?
話を聞くにモリアーティの目的はショルメさん一人。そして彼もまたモリアーティに対し一人で戦うことを選んだ節がある。ならばあなたはここで身を潜めるかロンドンを離れるという手もあるはずです。
Why is that her only two options? But I...
ちょっとサンちゃん、そんな冷たい言い方しなくてもいいじゃん。ここは俺たちが力を貸してさ、パパッと悪党を懲らしめて。
このイギリス中を敵に回してか。
The quiet line came from Lupin. He speaks each word clearly as he stares at me as if to warn me.
言っておくがな。この場にいる奴はみんな、お前が言うならいくらでも力を貸したいって思ってる。
Oh yeah, they're like wanted criminals, aren't they?
だがお前に力を貸すってことは、この国の実権を握ったモリアーティ、つまり大英帝国自体を敵に回すってことだ。
With Lupin's words, the gravity of the situation begins to weigh on me. 16 million people of this United Kingdom, 2 million counting London alone. The feeling of solitude and fear from being hunted by that many people. Involving everyone would mean no less than forcing that solitude upon them.
とりあえず今日は夜も遅いし彼女も怪我をしてるから休ませてあげたい。話し合うのはまた明日にしよう。みんなそれでいいよね。
ああ、異論はない。
With those words from Victor, everyone disperses back to their respective rooms. I watch CC, who leads the way, turning around numerous times in a worried manner. I mentally repeat those words that I was confronted with. The moonlight that crept through the window cast shadows upon the room. The room in this mansion where I've spent my days ever since arriving here in London. The room was left just as it was on the day I ran away. But there's no time for nostalgia about a room I've briefly been away from. I should be tired, but I don't feel like sleeping at all. Staring at Cece curled up near my feet, I sit down on the bedside. The reason Sholmes decided to stay behind is just as Saint Germain said. I'm sure he plans to settle things in some form or another, but I'm sure that it will lead to a conclusion that I fear the most. His face from when he hugged me resurfaces in the back of my head. This chest that couldn't possibly have a heart feels as though it's being squeezed, and I look to my reflection on the window. Myself in the mirror, staring at me fixedly with a face as if on the verge of tears. I want to talk to someone. Without waking Cece, I stand. Sorry, from my years of experience, you can't leave a room without waking an animal. Like, their senses are just... they hear everything. Then I go to... So the choices here is everything. So let me see what the first one is. It says choose all, so I guess we just go down the line. Okay, we're gonna go to Lupin's room.
ずいぶんひどい顔じゃねえか。美人が台無しだぜ、お嬢さん。
As charming as always. Do I really look that bad?
はあ、大事なものが多すぎて 板挟みになっちまってるって顔だな。
Perhaps that's true. Sholmes and everyone else, they're all so dear to me, but trying to save one of them in particular would expose the others to danger and they don't know what to do.
なあお前、最初に会った時のこと覚えてるか？
When you stole me away,
そうだ。あの時俺は言ったよな。
he's gonna make your wish to come
こ
true.
のしがない泥棒が必ずや真実の言葉を持ってあなたの願いを叶えてみせましょうってな。
Right, I remember. I remember the answer I gave you then too. I want to touch you.
ああ、そうだな。その通りだ。俺はその願いを叶えるために全力を尽くすつもりだったが。
His words cut off. His words as he gazed at me seemed to sound somewhat lonely.
カルディア、その時の願いは今も同じままか？
What do you mean?
もしも今のお前にそれ以上の願いが芽生えてきてるなら。
Well, I mean, she still wants to touch someone. Maybe not you.
その願い変えてやってもいい。俺の心情には反しちまうけどな。
It goes against my principles. An even greater wish.
とりあえず今日はもう寝ろよ。明日からは忙しくなるだろうからな。
Thinking about the meaning of his words, I leave his room. Now I'm going to go to Impy's workshop.
お、うるわしのマイハニー、こんな時間にどうしちゃったの？
You didn't say my honey, you said datey honey. Well, it translated it wrong.
ひょっとして愛の告白？それとも久々に会えたのが嬉しくって愛の言葉を告げに来ちゃった？
I'm not sure if I can tell the difference between those two. Maybe coming here was a mistake. At any rate, I arrive here at Impy's workshop. He welcomes me with a smile that is no different than usual.
ああ、そうだそうだ。さっきはごめんね。サンちゃんが厳しいこと言っちゃってさ。後で俺からガツンと文句言っとくから。
No, it's fine. I understand where Saint Germain was coming from. Asking for help to save Sholmes wasn't just something I should have blurted out so casually. Apart from me, it's someone who nobody else is connected to.
何言っちゃってんの？関係ならあるじゃん。
What? As if to cut off my words, Impy makes a declaration in a matter-of-fact manner.
だってショルメはカルディアちゃん。君にとっちゃ仲間なわけでしょ？だったら俺たちにとっても仲間の仲間。無関係じゃないって。
Impy, sometimes he really astounds me. Thanks, Impy. Thanks to you, I feel a bit better now. Expressing my gratitude to him, I exit his workshop. I'm gonna go to Saint Germain's room.
申し訳ありません。先ほどは厳しいことを言いましたね。
Saint Germain welcomes me with an apology as I enter the room. I slowly shake my head. No, I think it's only natural for you to have said that. In fact, I'm glad that you said what you did back there.
よかったですか？
Yes, if you hadn't made me realize, I probably would have just completely let myself rely on everyone's generosity. Dragging everyone along and going with the flow of things, taking everyone for granted. So I'm grateful to you, Saint Germain. Thank you. Saint Germain, what's wrong?
いいえ。あなたも随分変わったと思いまして。
I've changed.
ええ。以前よりずっと強く、そして人間らしくなりました。
She's a human because she fell in love, as Lupu would say. He laughs as he continues.
それに気づいたのなら、私からはもう言うことはありません。どうか 思うままに選びたい道を選んでください。
Sent off with those words, I leave Saint Germain's room. Go to the dining hall.
どうだ、うまいか。
You make something. It has a very unusual flavor. Like his smile, he's very satisfied.
当然だ。紅茶と緑茶とハーブティーその他を私独自の解釈でブレンドしたからな。他では楽しめない味わいだろ
I'm curious as to why he decided to mix everything together in the first place. As I enter the dining hall, Van Helsing, who came from the kitchen for a late night snack, pours me some tea. Perhaps I should be thankful that it was just tea and not a meal. I struggle to gulp down the tea that has an indescribable aroma.
う。宣告の話だが、私は別に反対する理由がない。
Van Helsing suddenly speaks about rescuing Sholmes.
ああ。どのみち私はアレスターを問いたださねばならん。故に目的はほぼ一致している。そのために必要であれば、敵が国だろうが何ら問題はない。ただ打ち倒すまでだ。
He will annihilate an entire nation. You're strong, Van Helsing. His feelings should be the most mixed of everyone's, with Finis' death and everything surrounding Alistair. I envy his steadfast attitude. Van Helsing mutters as if he can read my mind.
どんな物事であろうと、目的がはっきりしていれば、やるべきことはシンプルなものだ。お前は深く考えすぎだ。もっと簡単に考えればいい。
ん？
私はそろそろ休むとしよう。お前ももう寝ろ。明日に響くぞ。
He has an ominous way of giving advice. I see him off as he stands from his seat and down the rest of my mystery tea. Later, I returned to my room. It felt nice to hear what everyone had to say, but thinking about tomorrow, I'm still restless. You didn't talk to Victor. Then...
カルディア、もう寝ちゃった？もし起きてるなら、ちょっといい？
Oh, there you go. There's Victor. Victor? Is something the matter? It's so late.
包帯を変えようと思って。新しく防毒の包帯が完成したから。
Please do then. I nod and stretch out my arm as he instructs. He's careful not to touch my skin or blood. Staring at him absently as he changes my bandages, I begin to speak. I wonder if Sholmes is alright. He came into contact with my blood.
話を聞く限りだと、命までは失われていないと思う。君の毒が一番効果を発揮するのは、血を飲んだり、体内に取り入れてしまったとき。これは、致死性が高いし、ほぼ助からない。けど今回の場合は、飛散した君の血が、まず手袋や服に触れたわけだから、致命的なことにはなってないと思う。
Even if he's saying it for the peace of my mind, I do feel a bit better. Though I can't help but fear for the worst. My poison really is a terrifying thing.
そうだね。触れただけで即死はしなくとも、痛みとともに肌は焼ける。だから、話を聞いて驚いたんだ。ショルメが毒に焼かれても、君の手を離さなかったことに。きっと、それだけ君を守りたかったんだよ。エルロック・ショルメという人は。
My bandages changed. I see Victor off and look outside my window. I still doubt I can sleep easily. I'll get a bit of fresh air. When is she going to go to bed? Drawn by the wavering moonlight, I step into the garden where the darkness of night descends. I see someone standing there alone. Probably Saint Germain. Silently staring out at the town. Oh,
よう、ジョーちゃんか。
I forgot he was even there. Watson, have you been out here this whole time?
なんか落ち着かなくってな。俺は枕が変わると眠れねえたちなんだ。
I quietly sit next to Watson, who continues to stand. All we can hear are the sounds of nocturnal birds. Not a single sound can be heard from the town where the silence sank. Such a quiet night. It was so noisy during the day.
そうだな。あの静まり返った町の全部が俺たちの敵だなんて到底思えねえ。よく考えてみりゃ、ホームズのやつは今までも一人であんなでけえ敵とやり合ってたんだよな。
Our words melt away into the night air and disappear without a destination. I'm well aware, but Watson still quietly continues.
あいつはバカ野郎だ。ジョーちゃんもそう思わねえか。
Sholmes, why do you ask?
だってそうだろう。今も過去の罪にとらわれて縛られて人を巻き込むことを怖がって、俺にもジョーちゃんにも何も言わずに悲劇のヒーロー気取りで一人で抱え込んで全部終わらせようとしてる。もっともこの件に関しちゃ俺にも責任があるけどな。
I'm sure he isn't expecting a response. I quietly listen to Watson's self-derision as he talks to himself.
メアリーが死んじまった後でも、この間あいつと再会した後でも、あいつともっと話しゃよかったんだ。メアリーが死んだ時何があったか話して、怒って泣いて、殴ってでも聞き出して納得できるまで話をすりゃよかった。それを俺が怖くて放棄しちまった。だからあいつは今ああして手の届かないところに行っちまった。
It's not that you can't reach him. Watson directs his eyes at me as I mutter. I'm certain that Sholmes and I share some similarities. Becoming afraid, running from everyone, trying to do everything all on one's own. But I'm not as strong as Sholmes, so I quickly found my limits. After Sholmes and Watson took me in, I realized that I can't do anything on my own. So, you can still make it. You should meet Sholmes and talk with him again, even if you have to punch him. I want to do so too. See Sholmes, that is. Not punch him. Watson quietly squints his eyes. Why don't you just say he smiles at you? Oh my goodness. He looks so gentle as he stares at me as though I'm shining bright.
なあ、ジョーちゃん。ジョーちゃんはホームズのことを好きか？
It was the one word that brought shape to the feeling swirling inside me. The emotion that had been wavering without form finally begins to harden and take form. So we're going to do a save file here, because the other choice leads to the normal end. Let's see, that's the selection. This is the selection now. I'm going to say I do love him. If I was going to give a name to that emotion, it would be I love him. Yes, I do. I think I probably love Sholmes. There was a movement of my heart that I've probably never had within me before. The emotion that was forbidden by father, to think about that important someone, and the yearning to feel that person's warmth. It's such a warm, wonderful feeling. But even if I do love him, that's probably not a feeling that I, who carries a body of poison, should wish for. I cast my eyes down, staring at the ground, because his words are still left lingering in my ear.
では、君が私に愛をくれるというのか。私の罪ごと受け入れ、手を取り、口づけを交わしてくれるとでも。
And I can still feel the sensation of my hand burning him. As Watson's eyes seem to inquire, I give a small response. Even if I love him, I'm sure it'd just be painful for the both of us. Because I can't be beside him. I'm reminded of the incident of the warehouse once more. I can't touch him because I'll hurt him. I can't touch him, so I can't love him. After Watson listens to everything I say, he quietly speaks.
なあ、人に触れねえってのはそんなに大きなことか。
It is to her. What? I wonder if he's saying it on purpose, knowing that I've been burying this poisonous body all this time. Did he really say that, even knowing everything I've been through? As I stiffen my face, Watson quietly continues.
誤解を招く言葉だったら謝る。けどよ、俺はこう思ってんだ。何も人に触れることだけが愛じゃねえってな。人に触れられなくなったら、それで好きって感情は終わりか？人を愛する気持ちは、相手が死んで触れなくなったらそれっきりか？
Those were the words that carried weight.
そうじゃねえ。そうじゃねえはずだ。だから俺は今でもかみさんをこの胸の中で愛してる。何より誰よりずーっと愛してるんだよ。
Those were words only he could say. He who lost his wife, he who continues to love her even so. Thank you, Watson. I take a deep breath of the night air. What I should do from here on, what I should do for him, for myself, I already know the answer. This time I won't just run away without a word. This time I'll tell everyone that I need their strength. Go save him.
おはようございます、皆さん。すっかりお集まりのようですね。ところで、話をする前に皆さんにお知らせがあります。
The next day, after the night had passed, Saint Germain's phrase welcomes everyone as they gather in the mansion's living room. I was planning on begging everyone to lend me their help first thing, so this already throws me off a little.
素敵なお知らせ？
ええ。私を含め皆さんが少しばかり有名人になったと言いますか。
Now you're all wanted criminals.
カルディアさんたちに続いて我々も指名手配されたというだけの話です。
Well, now it doesn't matter if you go and save him. You're all criminals.
ああ、なんだ。それだけのことか。って笑い事じゃないですよ、伯爵。
You should be used to this, though. You've been a terrorist since day one.
フランの場合、手配も2度目。もう慣れたものだろう。
I know, right?
慣れるわけないでしょ。僕があの時どれだけ苦労したか。
インピーさんもついに新聞デビューか。いやー、こんなイケメンの手配書載せちゃったりしたら乙女が殺到しちゃうかも。
指名手配なんざ泥棒の勲章だ。むしろ喜べってフラン。
ああ、この人たちはもう。
He's like, I don't wanna. I think out of everyone, Victor's reaction is the most relatable and probably normal. But unfortunately, the ones with common sense here seem to be the minority. Can we assume that this is Moriarty's doing? I didn't think he'd go as far as arresting Lupin and the others.
他のやつはともかくとして、サンジェルマン伯爵が指名手配ってのはまずいんじゃねえのか？
No, it's fine. Yeah, sure, he's a count, but he's immortal, and if everyone knew how much he murdered, he'd probably be on a want-to list already.
それってつまりあれだ。この場所がバレてるってことだろ？
Now that's probably true.
ああ、だからこそ好都合なのさ。 そもそもその情報をリークしたのは俺だからな。
Of course he did.
はい。
自分から情報を漏らしたというのか。なぜそんなことを。
Well, they're gonna come find you, that's why.
仕事のための下準備ってやつさ。まあもっともその下準備を生かすかどうかは我らがレディの決意いかんだけどな。
Lupin, everyone, they all look towards me at once. I can't run away any longer. Here comes the true matter at hand. Oh my goodness. So Lupin already knew that you wanted help, and he took it upon himself to put everyone on a wanted list. To put less pressure on you when you ask for help. A very Lupin thing to do. There's something I want to say to everyone. Looking at the faces of each member of Lupin's crew in turn, I slowly began to speak my thoughts. I'm going to save Sholmes with Watson, so I need you to lend me your strength.
それは俺たちにはあいつを助けに行く理由がないって分かった上で言ってるんだな。
Yeah, you've already promised to grant her a wish, so. I nodded once towards his eyes that seemed to assess me. That's correct. This is my own selfishness. I'm going to expose you all to danger in order to save Sholmes. Well, we've already had this pep talk in like numerous routes. We already know that they'll stand with you. So I beg of you all, I know you'll think it's self-centered, but please lend me your strength.
俺からも頼む。
The two of us wait together patiently, our heads cast down. After a long silence, Lupin speaks once again.
一つ聞かせろ。お前はどうしてショルメのやつを助けたいんだ？
I don't know why he's like putting all these questions out and testing her. He already knows how she feels about him, but I don't know. Maybe he's making her face the truth in her own heart. Because he pretty much said the night before that he would help. But now he's putting on a display of words. I guess so everyone else knows.
愛情かそれとも同情かその理由を聞かせてくれ。
The reason I want to save Sholmes is... Watson and I exchange glances. After gaining his consent, I continue. The conclusion he and I reached last night after talking things over. I want to punch him.
あ
I want to punch him.
カルディアちゃん今なんつったの？
I wasn't expecting that either. Sholmes, I want to punch him. With all my strength, no less. I feel like I don't understand.
ジョーちゃんの言う通りだ。
Watson knows what she means.
こっちの気持ちなんぞちっとも考えず、何もかんも全部抱えて好き勝手してるあの自分勝手などうしようもない男を。
We won't feel satisfied unless we scold him at least once. So please lend us your strength. The silence this time was long. Lupin could get behind that. But soon sound leaked from everyone's mouth as they were unable to hold in it any longer.
いいじゃねえかそれ。
まさかそう来るとは。なかなか激しい結論に至りましたね。
Violent conclusion, says the idea member.
俺も賛成、大賛成。そもそもうちの女神を奪った野郎は一発殴ってやらにゃ気が済まないし。
The room is filled with their laughter and applause. I laugh wryly and Victor smiles at me.
昨日ね、みんなで話してたんだよ。もし君が一人で抱え込むようなら、力を貸す気はないって。でも、この様子だと心配する必要もなかったね。
I don't understand what he said. If you were going to bear it all by yourself, we weren't going to help you. Shouldn't it have been like you wouldn't let her bear it all herself? I don't understand.
私はもともと協力する気だった。アレスターには問い詰めることが多くあるからな。
Everyone, thank you.
あとはこれからどうするかだな。ホームズの居場所がわからねえと。
I'm sure Lupin knows where he is. He's a he's a thief that gathers information.
心配ご無用。泥棒紳士の情報網を甘く見てもらっちゃ困るぜ。
There you go.
奴の居場所ならとっくに調べがついてる。場所はバッキンガム宮殿の地下牢だ。
宮殿？またとんでもねえ場所だな。
どう考えたって女王様の暗殺で厳重な警備が敷かれてるよね。
I guess the queen really is dead. I'm sure Moriarty will be on the lookout for us, even more so now that he knows we're with you all.
まあそうだろうな。だがこっちにも切り札はある。
Lionheart. Lupin tightly snaps his finger and the gate leading to the next room opens slowly. Deli and two others walk out. Tomb whom I never expected to see again. I knew it! I knew she wasn't dead. Dang it. Like, I was beginning to doubt my own knowledge. I'm like, she's not dead. Is she? Is she dead? Nope. It's funny. Victoria and Lionheart.
ごきげんよう、お嬢ちゃん。あなたたちが宮殿に突入してきて以来かしら。それとあなたはジョン・ヘイミッシュ・ワトソン博士ね。
女王陛下？テロに巻き込まれて亡くなったんじゃねえのかよ。
I know with her on your side, it's going to be easy to turn the citizens back against him.
シャーロック・ホームズの警告がなかったら死んでいたでしょうね。
Although she seems exhausted, her dignity was just the same as when we had met before. The two explained what had transpired on the day of the dinner party.
もともとショルメ殿からテロの危険性は指摘されていてな。その情報を生かしきれなかったのは我が輩の失態と言えるが。
いいえ、決してそれだけではないわ。
In fact, on the day of the dinner party, apparently Lionheart had been arguing for tighter security. But some of the noblemen who attended were stubbornly against it, insisting it would disrupt the scenery. As a result, the site that allowed the invasion of terrorists underwent a disaster just as it was reported.
おそらく反対した貴族たちはモリアーティの手のものだったんでしょうね。私はどうにか難を逃れたけれど、その時点ではレオンハルト以外に誰が信用できるのか確証がなかった。
そこでいざという時のためにとショルメ殿に指示されていた隠れ家へ陛下をご案内差し上げたということだ。
ショルメさんからの手紙には女王の避難先も記されていました。そこでルパンやインピーがそちらを救出するタイミングに合わせて、我々は我々で陛下をお迎えに上がっていたというわけです。
And Sholmes is quite the planner, isn't he? He's like, this is going to happen. So I'm going to give Lupin and Nippy strict instructions while telling the others where to find the queen if everything goes according to how I think it is. All that was happening behind the scenes, making all of those arrangements during the short period of time until our escape. I feel as if I'm astonished by Sholmes' tactfulness once again.
でも、ビクトリアが生きていたことは、こっちにとって大きく有利になる。現状では、事態を打開する切り札となり得るからね。
ってことで、俺たちの手札はこれで全部ってわけだ。
はあ、これで国一つとやり合おうって、なんとも心もとない手札だね。
Why do you look worried?
別に真っ向から戦争するわけじゃねえんだ。やることはいつもと何一つ変わらねえよ。要するに盗まれたイギリスを盗み返す。ただそれだけだろ。取った取られたは泥棒の領分。任せとけっての。こちとら世界一の大泥棒だぜ。
David pulls his hat over his eyes and waves his hand exaggeratedly, then bows.
さあ、行くぜてめえら。お姫様の願いを叶えるついでにイギリスも救ってやろうぜ。
The end. Chapter 5. His last bow. Lupins or Sholmes? I'm curious now. Okay. Don't have to worry about any music or anything to mute. So yeah, I'm sure Alistair knew that the Queen survived, so he had to have worked extra hard to pollute I guess the nation of London, or the city of London, and all the guards, and basically get as much going for him as possible before she turns up again, which now he's run out of time. We're gonna go save Sholmes. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, drop a like down below and or subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.